Howdy folks, just up here shooting a video on some deer tricks. I shot a nice buck up here a couple years back. He wouldn't step out in the open. Like it's one of those skittish bucks that don't come out until after dark, but I did manage to catch a glimpse of him on the other side here as he's going along the edge, but he just wouldn't, it wasn't enough to get a shot at him. So the next day I had to do something to get right in there to get my chance to get him. And so I used a couple old tricks, an old trapper's trick, modified into like a deer trick. So we'll show you that today. And I do have some footage of this buck. I think he's called the horse buck, and I will put a link at the end of this video where you can have a look at this buck when he was still alive. Alright, so this is an old-fashioned brushed line that the trappers used to use for set their snares or traps. They put traps, so they would just run a line, and then they would just lean a whole whack of brush up against the line on each side, maybe tie here and there, and then the snare would go right in the middle. Right, I'm using a rope. I don't have any real snare, so this is just to show you what the trappers used to do. And then they used to finesse the top part with little tiny twigs and whatnot, so that's just perfect for a wolf, coyote, or a fox. All right, now I'm going to show you how I converted, how I'm using the brush line for deer. Okay, now since I got my brush line set up and I've already picked my area, I got my old chair there. Now we should talk about scent masking or scent cover for the brush line. And this is an old trapper's trick also. So let me just get this. Okay, so you're going to want to descent your line or mask the scent on your line, because deer and wolves and whatnot and animals of the wilderness, they all got good sense of smell, right? So what the old trappers used to do is they would take their line, they take a handful of brush, right? They get the line in the brush, and they get the brush all around the line like so, right? And then they would squeeze the brush onto the line, and then they would pull the line. right? And that's what they did. And they would do their whole line that way, and they would do their snare that way as well. So there you go. You got that part. You got to do that part before you set up. I probably should have done that before I started the video, but I put it in there anyways. That's what you do to decent your lines, or mask scent your lines, whatever you want to call it. Alright? So, yeah, you do that. And now I'm here at the chair. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run some lines around the chair and hang some brush. So again, the old trapper's trick I'll use as, so now I'm going to take a brush line and turn it into a brush blind. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Alright, I finished my brush blind. It's ready to go. And let's go over things, because I'm always missing stuff, because when I'm shooting these videos, I'm like, the knowledge that I have, I just think that everyone already knows that, and they're, you know, well, they know that, everyone knows that, and you know, just like when you take the rope and you take the brush and you run the rope through the brush to get rid of the scent, to mask any foreign scent, and it's just automatic, like, oh, everyone knows that. Oh, no, they don't. So yeah, I'm just not really thinking about teaching. I'm just going through the motion, and I got to slow down a little bit. So that's basically what the brush blind is. It's pretty good. I could always add to it later if I need some more. Notice I got a tree or two in back of the chair to break up my silhouette. Okay, see, that's something I didn't, that's something I remember that I put in the video. So let's go over the stuff. So the brush line that I made on the trail coming across that open area, or just before the open area, that's for concealment, so that they don't see me coming up the hill, right? So I shot a little video of me coming up the hill without the brush line, and then me coming up the hill with the brush line. So you see that, you see the difference there, because they can hear you coming, right? I mean, look at the size of their ears. They can hear you coming, but they don't know what you are. They're going to be looking. They hear you coming, and they're going to be looking if they're here, right? So the brush line is just a place where you can stop and you can peek through the brush, or even over the brush if you really don't think they're here. And you can just stay there for about, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes there, just looking around, because you can't come across that open area. Doodly doodly doo doo doo, you know, that you gotta stop and look around, because they could be here already, right? You know this. Everyone knows that, right? I hope so. Anyways, I automatically think people know everything, and so when I do things, oh yeah, he's doing that because of that. Yeah, I understand that, and you know. So, anyways, this is the old trapper's brush line trick, and yeah, I use the brush line also for my brush blind. That gets kind of fusing. I can't even say my words right. Brush line and brush blind. And the thing about this here is I could leave this here. There's no human scent here. I even even the rope I use it's like a cotton rope, right? It's not that nylon stuff that doesn't give off no plastic smell. It's all natural rope, or you can use hemp rope too. That'll work. And then make sure you run it through a handful of brush. Really squeeze that brush nice and tight around as you're pulling it through, remember. And you're all set to go. Just tie it around. Use your gloves and tie it around there where you want it, and then hang your brush like a curtain. Check this out. Say that you want a little open area there, you just move it like a curtain, see? Right? Place where you stick your gun through or whatever, or you don't want that. You want more concealment, you can hang some more and so on. And, right, easy peasy, right? And I do like those pop-up blinds that you see that they got in the stores. They look so easy. You, what, 2 rods and they're bing, and then they're almost like a push button. I mean, they look cool, but yeah, they're made out of kind of smelly material that are not all natural, and the deer will get onto them and they will give them a wide berth, right? After a while, they'll, yeah. Well, you know, unless you really, well, you can use them, but you really gotta work with the wind. And remember, at nighttime, they're gonna be all over this place. So if you have one of those synthetic blinds, like, let's call them synthetic, that once they come right around here, they're gonna smell that. And they'll still move through the area, but they'll give this little spot a wide berth because they know there's something wrong here. But this here, with the brush and the rope and the scented rope and the chair that's made out of wood and stays out here all year round, it's pretty well all natural. So I'm happy with that. It got me a nice buck here anyways. I'll show you the buck, and then and that'll be it for the old trapper's brush blind trick, and on to the next trick.